Hey, I like this jovial side of Fizzik. You should drink that concoction more often, buddy.
You think so? Cause it's just I mean, I don't mind it if that's what you want me to do.
You are aware that we almost died to vines
Oh,
today.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
You're drinking when a boar attacked the previous night. Just gonna get yourself killed.
Sounds like it's the perfect time for a drink to me.
Yeah. Emma's asleep, right?
Yeah. I think she's resting after that last encounter. Why?
Just wanted to make sure she was doing okay. Jeez. On that topic, I don't know about this, guys. I know I'm too far in it to say we should dial it back, but I don't know about the way we're handling it.
Well, tell that to Rush. This idiot city boy.
Okay,
Hey,
so I'm
watch
not
what
the
you
only.
say about city boys, all right?
He got mad at me for doing the only thing that we could do. Oh, save the woman, she's ugly.
Nikki, come on. I mean, have you taken a look in a mirror lately, buddy?
Hey, she said that first. I'm just parroting what she said.
Right.
But it's true, I mean, bloodshot eye and lumpy head, tusks notwithstanding.
Well,
I don't know what's going on with her face.
I think that she exudes a sort of inner strength which illuminates her outside appearance to another level that maybe can't be seen with physical eyes, if that makes any sense. She just kind of carries herself as someone that could be looked up to, that can put the world on her, albeit broad shoulders, and carry it around for the rest of humanity to stand upon and get behind.
I mean, look, I appreciate her as much as the next guy, but it's not because she looks a certain way. And I think she prefers it that way.
What do you mean?
Have you noticed her attitude lately? I mean, not super lately. She's shaken after that Vine thing, but she's been...
She wants to prove herself. And to me, no one goes below the veil to prove themselves. Suicide.
That may be, but I mean, among all of us, aside from you, Nudnik, you've already done this before, but of all the rest of us, I'd say she has the best shot of actually making it because of that attitude. She's willing to do whatever it takes to be as much of whatever she can be.
All I know is that she asked me a question about orcs and my former tribe, and she was the one who stepped on the vine first. Not you, not the little other Rush guy, not Danyan, but her. She wasn't paying attention to her surroundings.
And do you think she'll ever
Wanting to
step
be
on
the
the vine
best.
again? Do you think she'll ever step on that vine again?
If she hadn't distracted me, I wouldn't have stepped on the vine in the first place. And I regret I made that mistake. It was my fault in that fright. I should have stopped her. But she asked me about the orcs tribes, and I just got distracted.
Well, I don't think we should put any kind of blame on any one person. We are a group. We act as a group. We're only as strong as our weakest link, and I don't think we have a weak link in this party. I think we're strong like a good chain mail.
You sure you guys don't want a tadpole?
Fizzy, you could take that one. Go ahead. I've had my fill.
All right.
Yeah, ooh, that made quite a noise, didn't it? Oh,
Once
man.
you get through the bones, they're not so chewy, and then it's just pure protein from there.
We still have some rations left over, right? I mean, I shared with Danyan, but
Dry rations are gonna last a lot longer in storage than these guys, so I gotta eat them fresh.
Yeah, you know what? More for you, pal. You just divulge in your tadpoles.
All right.
Enjoy.
give me a
Anyways.
little bone. Do they have bones? I don't know. kill vertebrae snapping.
Oh, they do. Oh, they do.
They do. That's what I thought. Okay.
Sounds like it maybe gives a nice texture to it, I guess.
It's a little gristly, but there's a nice pop.
Yes. I think the pop is what we were hearing there before. Anyways, as I was saying, I don't think we should place blame on anyone. I think that's where division starts to happen when we start doing things like that. And we need to stay as a cohesive unit here. And, who knew by stepping on a vine, they would come and wrap us up? I mean, I didn't know. It didn't sound like anybody else knew. So someone was going to step on that vine. And I don't think it really matters who it was.
It wasn't going to be Nudnik.
Why not?
I don't know everything. This is a different location from where I came from with my tribe. We were farther to the west. All I know is that anything down here that has any kind of life will fight for itself. Be damned if it would not be your friend. We can't be friends with anything down here. From the littlest tadpole to the biggest creature made of plants.
I agree with you, Nikki, which I'm sure will probably be shocking to hear.
Considering you keep talking to them?
Well, here is the reason why I'm agreeing with you on that. See, it's all semantics. Now, friends I am trying not to be in this case. Mutual respect is kind of more as what I'm going for. I believe if we respect the forest and all of its inhabitants and denizens, what I'm looking for is a mutual respect in return, which, I mean, if you think about it, we stepped on a vine causing it harm, therefore it was just defending itself. Now, the polar opposite of that is when the shamblers came after us, you see, and we showed it a sign of respect, it in turn showed us a sign of respect. The yin and the yang of things, the way things work together.
Do you realize the reason why the shamblers didn't eat us there was because shamblers don't eat?
Well, they could have pulverized us into the ground.
What reason would they have to do that? They exist as a different kind of being. They don't need sustenance. So if we aren't a threat, they won't take us. That's specific to them. That's not something any other quality is going to have, because you have a bunch of things. You have plants here that are going to eat us, like plants.
Like the vines.
Like the vines.
Yes,
they're going to attack
vines.
us and eat us. If you're gonna.
Now, I mean, again, I know that we are not going to be able to avoid all things. I hope you don't think that I am delusional in that sense of things, but, I do think that there is at least a fine line of giving it the old try first, just to see, and if things don't work out, well, another plan of action may be needed in that case. But I think trying to avoid violence and putting ourselves in as little danger as possible might be a way to go about doing things.
Well, I'm gonna agree with you there.
No, I don't agree with that.
Avoiding conflict?
I think
what benefit do we get?
You avoid conflict by hiding from it, possibly. You don't avoid conflict by trying to talk to it and be reasonable with it and respect it mutually.
And see, that's where I agree. My idea of avoiding conflict is staying away from the danger altogether.
I am fine with that, but sometimes you just have to fight.
And my recognition of this area is the danger comes to us, for a large part. The board charged the tent. The shamblers came to us. We stepped on the vine, sure, but the vines were everywhere. This place is designed in a way to sustain itself. We are outside of this. We're coming into it. We're invading. They're going to try and turn us back. It's just the way that goes. I mean, by Obadiah's divine truth, everything's just trying to survive in its own right. And us being here goes against that in a way. Because we sure as heck wouldn't come here to survive.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely are the foreign body in this world, and it will, I'm sure, try to reject us, as we technically shouldn't be here. But the thing about foreign bodies is they find a way to adapt to their surroundings, so we just need to find a way to adapt to survive.
And I don't know if that adaptation is talking to everything that comes at us.
Well, again, not everything that comes at us. Now, I will say, uh, I might have been able to get us out of that last predicament if I had a better skill at vine language.
Yeah, you would have been able to get us out of the other
Get
predicament
it,
if you knew
guys?
Shambler language, but they speak in moans. They didn't understand a word of it. The reason they left us
Physic,
alone.
physic. He's trying to be funny.
Vine language? Get it? Anyways,
No, I
yeah.
don't. I don't get it.
Uh,
Eh,
anyways, yeah, I think just to kind of sum up, I think we're doing a pretty good job so far. We've had our fair share of pitfalls. Luckily, not literally at this point. And I think if we just keep going at the pace we're going, I think we're gonna be okay.
Look, you have some healing ability, and it's great that you do. Thank goodness for it. I have quite a bit more than you there,
Absolutely.
and I am struggling to keep up. We are losing this fight.
Well, look, your heals are appreciated. It's not something I can really do, besides, bandaging wounds or whatnot. You have a much bigger repertoire of abilities than I do. It seems a shame if you just take healing. Some of the best ways to avoid having to heal is to not get hit. And to not get hit is either to avoid or set up ambushes where we get the drop on them.
Okay, but
Which is the only shut up, little man. The only reason why, Danyan, that I'm concerned with you wanting to talk to things, even if it is reasonable or could come to a positive end. Because in doing so, it means being seen with their ambush tactics possibly not working. That's the problem. Because you would stand there in the middle of a field with people charging you or whatever and attempt to calm them down or make them see mutual respect or whatever. And that means they obviously will know that you are not alone, which means that Emilia and I will be hiding. The gnomes will be, I don't know, bowing down to the ground, being nearly invisible because they're so short anyway. The gig would be up. That's my only real concern. I don't care if you talk to people and you get a resolution going that could avoid conflict. But I do care if, in doing so, you compromise any tactics we might have thought of. Does that make sense?
Nikki, I read you loud and clear. I don't think I would ever just ruin an element of surprise if I did feel like it was on my side. I'm not just going to go strolling out into a possible ambush or ruin our ambush, but I would at least like just, to make sure, just for my own personal well-being and my own sleep at night, that we don't just randomly attack things or people just for no reason. I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that.
Physic, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult. I'm sorry.
No, that's very nice of you, Nikki.
This whole time, I've been putting off the idea that I'm terribly small. I've always been rather small, and that never bothered me in the city because being overlooked in the city is a good thing. Being overlooked here might be a good thing too, but frankly, I don't know this part of the world the way I'd like to. And it seems to attack without discrimination, and being small in this case is not such a great thing. You pointing it out right now is just salt in the wound, buddy. Salt in the wound. I try and refrain from being sensitive to it. I try to take the high ground on this. I don't point out where you come from. I don't look at you for what you're supposed to be. I look at you for what you actually are, and I respect you. I'd hope you'd do the same for me.
It's force of habits. No one in Azumire looks at me and goes, "Hey, there's a person who might be smart or might know some things." Or not be a violent sociopath who wants to kill everything. I don't get that anywhere in Azumire. From the nobles or the squall people, they all accept glory and the people in the tavern.
Well,
you in many ways have it easier, even small as you are. City's overpopulated, you take up less space. I live in the corner of a storeroom in the back of the bar. I have no space. I had more space when I was down here.
I didn't mean it that way.
Look at Rush. He doesn't seem to give a shit where he is. He acts the same. Flirting and fucking whatever that little gnome does.
No one knows.
Well, some people know.
Anyone who's been in the room.
Yeah, just to get it out in the open, I have never engaged with Rush in that sort of a manner, though there have been many advances on his part. I just haven't wanted to ruin the work relationship that we have going. I just felt like I needed to get that off my chest because with him, who it could literally be anybody at any time. So just to throw that out there for you guys. And if you have, hey, I'm not judging at all. Please,
have a
great time. Seems like a fun guy. Seems to know what he's doing. I say go for it. I just wanted to, just so you know where I stand on that matter.
Now, it might be the potion solvent, or the fact that they're all asleep, and I just want to pray. He's tried, and I was, kind of okay with it, but then I started talking. I'm too boring for Rush. I'm the one thing. Rush won't fuck me.
Fizzy, jeez. Keep it down.
Shh.
Yeah, shh, please. You can't think like that. Big things come in small packages, as they say. Maybe you're just the small package that Rush has been. I don't know.
I need to find a D12 real quick. Hold on.
Oh, D12. Oh, dude. Yeah.
You're killing me, man.
So nice to have a boys' night, isn't it, fellas? Isn't it just great? Sit around and talk shop, huh?
It's so ridiculous. Oh, but that would happen. That happened. Okay.
I don't know what to say to any of this. He has tried with me too in jest. I just know that
Are you sure it's jest? I don't think it's jest, and I'm glad you think it is. Otherwise, it might.
I just know I'd
not
tear
be
him
funny
apart
anymore.
unless he invented some contraption that he could survive my power.
Oh.
Danny, if you wanted to stay there and lay on hands the whole time.
Oh boy, can you imagine that? What a buzzkill! Just a big, gigantic, strapping man in full armor, just kind of touching and looking away at the same time. Oh,
Want more rations?
Oh God.
We shouldn't talk so loudly or be so jovial. We'll not only wake them, but probably something in this forest will try to kill us.
I think this is important, though. I think that this is what's going to get us through those dark times.
These dark times.
Of course. Absolutely.
Well, I'm still beat to shit from that fight with the vines.
Yeah,
They almost got me too. I know they almost got you, Daniel.
I know you're against it, Nudnik, but tomorrow, my morning ritual is going to be purely on healing because, frankly, I'm praying that we get lucky tomorrow, that nothing jumps out at us or gets us, because if it does, I'm not going to be terribly armed for it. But at the very least, everyone else will be ready.
Well, I'm just worried because Rush, before he went to sleep, he mentioned something about fixing your armor, Daniel. And I don't know how that would go, what sounds it would make.
Yeah, it's pretty it's seen better days, but like the phoenix rising from the flame, my armor will see greatness again and shine bright the light from the heavens down upon it.
Don't you hate when he does this?
I'm sorry?
Nothing. Keep going.
Okay, excuse me.
Continue.
Down from the heavens, shining up the bright light, illuminating the darkness, releasing the shroud from around us as a guiding beacon to justice and glory.
Is it gonna help us with vines?
Now that we know, yeah, it could help us with vines. I know how they move now, so when they come at me, I have a better chance of dodging out of the way. I'm a quick study like that.
All right. You did quite well cutting into it. I saw you got a couple of good thwacks into it for the little fireball rolling around.
Yeah. I mean, what else could I have done? I mean, at that part, it's just hack away.
More power next time. Do it quicker.
Well, I was at an interesting angle. As you could see, and I take off... actually, I probably have it down. I pick it up, it being a gigantic bastard sword. It's hard to kind of have the angle to come straight down on something when it's wrapped around you. So it was more kind of an angled, kind of a slash hack than it really was a full power swing, unfortunately.
I'm just watching this in amazement. Like he can move that whole thing that easily. Like, how far could he throw me?
It's all in the craftsmanship of the balance. That's really what it comes down to. People think it's the size. It really isn't. It's really on how you wield it and the balance that you have over it and the technique about. It's all in the traps here. If you just kind of whip it around, you do get some nice power in a short distance on it. Have you seen me do this enough times to understand what I'm getting at here? Because I could keep going if necessary.
Maybe one or two more times.
Okay, so it's like a pop of the trap. It's a pop, just like that.
Do you see that, Nudnik? It's a pop. It's a pop.
I don't pop. I slash and I penetrate.
Yeah. Well, good thing Rush didn't hear that. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah.
Might have gotten him a little too excited there.
Oh, that laughter seriously hurt my sides. I'm like in pain right now. I'm sorry. It's like trying not to hurt myself more. Oh, you poor me.
Well, gentlemen, I'll put it this way: if I'm gonna die with anyone, I'm glad it's in the humorous likes of you.
Thank you. And you can see Daniel trying to figure out if that's a compliment or not. I feel the same about you.
He's just too drunk to even register what's happening at this point. He's had a sip.
Given the company, Danny boy, I have a question for you.
Shoot, Nicky. What's on your mind?
Are you in love with Emilia?
What makes you ask that question, if you don't mind me asking one first before I answer yours?
The way you talk about her, yeah. Just, if anyone was to love that, that's a horrible person.
Take your time.
I don't know, just only female of the group. Both of you are humans. These
Yes.
two, short. No offense, Physic.
None, none taken.
So
Well,
you're saying,
only logical, huh?
you're saying just because we're two humans that we need to be together, huh? That's pretty small-minded of you, first of all, Nikki. But I'll let that.
Well, it's the survival of the fittest, huh?
I guess you have a point there. Wow, that's a pretty loaded question there. Let me mull that over inside the old noggin just for a minute so I can come up with the best answer. Do I love Emilia? Now, are you speaking of love in the maybe the carnal sense of the word? Uh, like because really, what does love come down to? More than
Danny, don't get not the light talk, not the shining beacon talk. It's a straightforward question. If you don't want to answer it, that's fine. It's just don't dance around like an acrobat in your circus.
Man, I really do miss my circus. Anywho,
You can buy it back with the gold.
that's the plan. I love her as I love all of you. I definitely have an affection for her. Being a female, it is difficult to put aside those feelings as of course I am only a man, and so I have the feelings that any man would have when he sees an attractive woman in front of him. But if I had to be honest, I hope I don't say this. I don't want to hurt her feelings. Or did she say anything about me?
No.
Oh, oh, oh okay. I was just out of curiosity's sake. I love her like a brother, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, thank goodness.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It's just.
Is that why? Would that have been a problem or?
Just strategically, it could have led to some rash decisions possibly in the future.
Yes, of course. Yes,
Yes,
you're right about that.
Yeah.
Again, hence why I have not taken on the advances of Rush. Partly because it's well, I haven't wanted to, but secondly because I wouldn't want it to ruin the working relationship that we have all strived so hard to sharpen to a fine point. You have something to say? You have something on your mind?
Nah, I've just been around Rush too long.
Yes, I figured it was something along those lines, yeah.
The reason why I asked, and it wasn't to embarrass you or anything like that. Although there's a little fun to be had in such
please.
Awkwardness.
It takes a lot to embarrass me, let me tell you.
I will give her this. She was amazing netting that civilian during the riots. It was a beautiful display of finesse and acrobatics, and you being of the circus, I thought there could be some, latent attraction or something.
Well, again,
Nudnik,
that
you're
was
not-
a. Go ahead.
You're Nudnik, you're not thinking. You're not thinking of making an eighth orc, are you?
No, not at all.
Good.
Look, I am down here for two reasons, and one of them is that royal chick girl that we have to go rescue.
What's the other?
Oh, I thought it would be obvious. I want to kill my tribe.
No, that was nowhere in the bill. But thanks for. Okay.
I'm going to say this straight, and to you most of all, Danny. If we come across any orcs whatsoever ever down here, I am going to kill them without hesitation, without hope for diplomacy. done.
Okay, are they? So, excuse my ignorance for how things are done down here. This is first time visit. Uh, are they all part of the same tribe for the orcs down here?
Uh, no. There are multiple tribes. So if we come across a tribe that's not my tribe, I'm going to kill every single one of them except the last one because I want answers about what's going to happen and if they know where my tribe is. And then I'm going to kill them.
Okay, so basically, all orcs are pretty much open season for you.
Absolutely.
Huh. Okay. What if some of them are willing to help? I'm not saying that they will. I'm just throwing a hypothetical out there, just to kind of get the temperature of the room, so to speak.
If they can help us in a way that we can control them, I will take their help and then I will kill them.
Jeez.
I mean, I know we've had some talks about this, but just how untrustworthy are orcs down here?
All the way. All the way untrustworthy.
All right.
Especially since we are the invaders of this place. And such an eclectic group at that.
There isn't any sort of honor or code or anything that the tribes go by.
Just strength.
So what if we have more strength than them? Is it a dethroning type of situation where if we have more strength, we basically sever the head of the tribe, or?
Having seen what Physic and Rush can do when they're not just flirting or drinking.
Look, I don't drink all the time. Just shut up.
There's no judgment there. I don't care if you drink. I will say this. They will think that they outnumber us and overpower us, and they will be wrong, and we will show them that they are wrong. But that will not stop any future encounter or sway it in any other way. Unless you stick a note up their ass that says, oh, we got beat by a couple of gnomes and a human and a half-orc. And run back to your little tribal leader. And even then, they'll probably just take that guy, take the note, laugh at it, wipe their ass with it, and then kill the orc that we send back.
Such a vicious way to go about things. I just don't understand it.
It's a foreign territory. It's understandable. We've, for the most part, all of us, for the most part, have never really been outside of the city. This isn't.
I've been above cities and in between them, but never below them.
Yeah.
So this is a new experience for me. That is
So,
for sure.
To assume that we really know much anything is to assume wrongly. Nudnik, you have the most insight to this by far, and you're saying you don't know this neck of the woods.
I've never been this far east of the mountains. I actually was never on this side of the mountains, although my tribe did move around quite a bit, but I have no idea if they would ever relocate to this side. I never did with my years with them.
Man, it all sounds kind of bleak, doesn't it?
Absolutely. But you knew that coming down here, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I'd rather die down here at the hands of my own god than die up there at the hands of some ponce wearing blue.
That's not your god. Your god wouldn't kill you. It's the things down here.
Oh, no, he would. He absolutely would. Have I ever talked to you about my god?
You only taught me how to spell it when you were teaching me how to write.
Right. So, Obadiah, he doesn't represent... we in the Druid fold have two token gods we typically follow. There's a bunch of other ones. They're small and whatever. I follow the big dick, and most follow the big not dick. So, Alana is a peaceful little god. She runs around, frolics, and protects all that is good and natural, and I frankly don't buy it. Because if we could just frolic with all that was good and natural, we'd all already be down here. It doesn't make sense. Now, Obadiah's got a totally separate aspect where, frankly, nature doesn't give a damn. And Nudnik, I think you'll agree. Nature just doesn't give a damn. Nature sends vines out to strangle your friends. Nature will sneak up on you when you're not paying attention and question whether or not to crush you. Nature will sick you with wolves. Nature will poison you with frogs. Nature will do whatever it wants to because it doesn't care. It's an agglomeration of things that don't care, and we're part of that not caring. We all have the same impulse to survive, to thrive, to be the best that we can be. And frankly, Emilia just sums that right up. But Obadiah doesn't care if we live or if we are food. Because frankly, we're all just part of the same big old life force that sums up to the same old thing after time, and that's just where that goes. It's bleak. But it's true.
I have only ever heard Danyan talk about his faith in his speeches about gleaming and being beacon.
Yes, that's a lot of what faith is.
Maybe to you.
I don't believe in your god, no offense, but I understand why you would worship something like that. Physic, I don't understand if he doesn't care and is completely neutral like me in many ways. Why would you even waste your time worshiping that?
It's not so much worship as it is belief, and venerating a belief which you know is true. If I were to discover that gravity works, I wouldn't spend time questioning that gravity works. Yeah, if I drop this, it's gonna fall. So why question it? If nature doesn't care, nature doesn't care. It's not so much belief as it is fact of the matter, and it's not my choice, it's the truth. But we have a place in this nature. We exist, and we have that same instinct. As part of it, we belong as part of it, and the fact that we've been totally extradited onto the tops of mountains is completely unnatural, which is just the opposite of what we ought to be. So if we are food, let us be food. But I don't think we are. We're too clever.
I just see there being a unneeded end part to your belief. Believe something will fall if you drop it, sure. But why believe in a person who's a god who's representative of said belief? That's a belief too far, in my opinion. You're better off just believing what you believe and surviving because of it.
Well, I'll put it this way. You know how I heal people? It's because I ask him to do it, and he says, sure. Why not?
Well, then he cares.
No. He doesn't care.
But if he lets you.
He doesn't care to say no.
So you can ask him, and one day he will just say, no, fuck off.
Not so much. Because he'd have to care to say no. It's more like knowing the secret passcodes into his library and basically being able to pull out the book. So I can just say, hey, I want this, and he'll be like, oh, okay, whatever. You already got it, so why not? And that's just the way it flows. I'm more like whispering secret codes, secret words, secret formats, and whatever it is, and it's coming out the other end. And that's just how that works. It's bizarre, it's strange, I know, and I don't quite understand the full extent of it, and it kills me that I don't. But the fact of the matter is, there are things that I will never understand, no matter how hard I try. And until I die, I'm going to keep trying.
Your healing magic is appreciated by me, beyond the capability of what I can do myself. If you can steal from a god for his power, I have no problem with that. And then I'm gonna look at Danny and I'm saying, no, I don't mind about your deity either.
Well, I mean, he definitely comes in handy for you sometimes. For something you don't believe in, I'm kind of surprised. As people have physically gotten the benefits of his great and divine powers.
And see, that's the thing. There's a little overlap there, where you have a god who benefits people with, I believe, one of the tenets. I've heard you say it so many times, and I'm still gonna botch it. The self-preservation factor. Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
The
That is
idea
one of the many things that my God believes in. But yeah, that is one of the stronger ones. Yes,
that you have to, in surviving for yourself, you can help others.
correct. Yes, absolutely.
I also believe that. That's basically the core of mine.
What if there is no God, no gods, and all this is you tapping into your inner strength that you turn into something external.
Then I'm much taller than I am.
All I know is that Rush can pull some pretty crazy spells out of his ass. I don't see him praising a god for it.
That's another form of power, which is according to the Guild of Thaumaturgy, which I frankly find the whole thing kind of heebie-jeebie. They pull energy from. How do they describe it? Just as there are stars in the sky, there are layers to our world. There's think of a bed with blankets, something another. The heat kind of radiates from one layer to the next. So if you put your hand on top of a bed, it's cold, but if you put your hand between it, it's kind of warmer. They're taking the warmth from underneath the blanket to the top of the blanket through a little hole that they rip.
Well, that just seems a little off the wall for me. But hey, individuality is another very strong aspect of my God, and if that's what somebody needs to use or believe in to make themselves better or stronger, then I say go for it.
I just know what I can see, what I can smell, what I can touch. Other worlds, never seen them, so why believe in them? What good do they do me?
Well, if they allow you to blow fire.
But that's something you see on this plane, this reality.
Yes.
Where it's pulled from, I don't know. You say that, I say, why not just pull it from within? I don't know. What do I know?
You know an awful lot. Don't trivialize yourself, Nudnik. You're valuable.
Do you not see yourself as valuable?
Value is a weird idea to me. For it goes against the very tenet of survival. In some ways.
How
Okay.
so? I would believe that a strong value would have for stronger survivability. Yes, if not valuing yourself, then values to others who would protect you to help you survive.
I know that I can survive. I know that alone, I might have a harder time of it, but I have survived down here alone for many years. Not on this side of the mountain, but on the other side. I found my places that I could hide and stay away from the nature and the dangers of the world. Value to me is something that we put on each other. Oh, you build a house, you have value. Oh, you rule and know the law, you have value. But it's all in relation to everybody else, not necessarily yourself.
Would you prefer I say you matter to me?
I'll be honest, when those shambling creatures came and surrounded us, I thought we were just gonna fight. And I expected to fight. I even took out my alchemist fire expecting to throw it and light one of those bastards up, because that's the only way I knew how to deal with them. Obviously, I would prefer the number described to be different. We are at most 4 people total, if you add the 2 gnomes together. And they were 4, so we were even keeled, and even then, they were larger than us. To me, if we fought them, it would have been fine, because we would have become stronger as a result of it, and been more experienced, and hopefully we would have survived, and we would have learned something about how to deal with it in the future. I was not expecting them to just regard us and then leave. And that was because of you 2. And I'm still trying to figure out whether that was ultimately the right thing that we did or not. We didn't fight them, sure, but what if they deal with us later on when we're returning with a girl and she panics and does something that would affect them and make them aggressive towards us? What if...
Nudnik.
What... These are things that we just don't know. That we know that they're alive. We know that they know we are here.
Nudnik. You know the sheer scale of where we are. You know how big it is. And I'm just gonna throw it out there that the odds of us running into them again are pretty low. But if we were to fight every square inch of the way through here, you know places to hide on the other side. Sure, we don't know places to hide here, but any alternative we can find that has the same result as hiding, saving our energy, making it through to the next day, whatever that means, that is survival. Surviving alone, maybe it's a little more straightforward. It's either fight or flight. But when you have people who protect you and people to protect, it's not so simple anymore. We have to... I feel we should form some sort of... I don't know if it's a code or a strategy or some sort of code of conduct that we can adhere to, just so that we're all on the same page. Next time something happens, we'll all agree what to do. That way we don't spend that extra time wondering, because frankly we work best when we work together.
Well, I think the only problem I see with that is we don't know what's going to happen down here. It's mostly unknown, and I don't want to agree on a course of action if there are too many variables to set about said course of action. I don't want to pigeonhole us in that sort of sense as to where things can be shifting a lot, and I think it would be better if we were as water, ever flowing, ever shifting, able to adapt to the situation at hand no matter what.
We'll keep that in mind, but I mean, like, simple things, straightforward things. Say something's attacking us, don't talk to it. Say if something is trying to check us out, maybe we all get into a formation. It's not necessarily the full course of action, but a first step we can all adhere to. That way we can just react naturally, do our thing, and then whatever we end up doing, it will set us up for whatever we have to do next. That way, instead of having to think from step one, which is an extra step, now we're thinking and then doing. If we've already thought it out, then we can just do, and then we can move from there.
I think having a set of ground rules would be a good idea. Yeah, I do like that. Good idea.
So I'm just gonna put this one out there. Nudnik, you're going to kill the orcs. I'm not gonna be able to stop you if I wanted to. Code 1, if it's orcs, we can't stop them anyway.
So you're saying if it's an orc, we just automatically attack?
Or, well, I mean, like, if we're face to face with orcs, if orcs are in an aggressive manner towards us, at that point, the writing's on the wall. They know about us.
They sized us up, and they still attacked. And they underestimated what we can do.
Because they only see 3 people.
3 threats, 2 threats. They don't regard Emilia as a threat.
Right. And
It's
she
just
most
you and me,
certainly
Daniel.
is.
Now, if they do attack us, again, I'm relying on your knowledge of orcs here. Uh, have they already basically made up that decision? It's already been computed, and they're that's what they're doing.
It's been computed. Yes, it's
Okay,
been. They have decided, yes.
okay. Yeah, and again, I must reiterate, where if we are put in a position of immediate danger or violence, I hope my actions at that house where we saved that innocent man do show that I am not afraid to get violent when I feel like my friends and family.
That's
I rather
Daniel.
do.
We've seen you. We know you can do, and we know what you can do. We don't doubt your ability.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
it's just the fear of that tendency. It's not necessarily rational, but we do know that you have a tendency to want to do what's right, and we are afraid that being above the city, in the city rather, above this veil, you had a place there. It worked. Here we're seeing not so much.
You'll see my face kind of sink and kind of delve into a look of how do I respond to that, and I will just kind of okay, sure, yeah, no problem.
I'm not saying you don't have a place, to be clear. I'm saying your tendency towards diplomatic solutions and working together and finding common ground. These aren't tame lands.
Understandable, yeah. I understand your concern and your fear, and I will do my best to quell both of those to the best of my abilities.
Ah, Physic, you hurt the humans' feelings.
I don't. No. I just want to make sure that that you know that I am on the same team and that I'm a team player, and I will do what's right.
My thoughts on value notwithstanding, Daniel, you are valuable to what we're
Oh,
doing.
come on, Nick. You don't have to. You don't have to say it. Unlike you, I do understand value, and I do have self-value, as I wish everybody does. I hope that is one of the things that I try to bring out is self-value in people, and I assure you this: by the end of our arduous journey that we're going on, I will help you find some sort of self-value, even if it's buried deep within that burly husk that is your body.
Nudnik kind of just like looks off into the fire for a minute, kind of like
As-
trying to process.
as soon
that
as-
he knows he has value, it's a matter of attributing it to others that confuses him.
Of course.
So he's
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
he's a little confused about how to respond himself.
Like physics, body language, as soon as like your tone changed, like has like totally shifted. He's been staring at the fire. He can't even like look at you because he's like afraid, basically at this point, because he knows what he has to say. He just
You have they're fizzy.
I knew from the beginning that we'd be butting heads.
Excuse me.
We both have a very strong sense of virtue, and that's something I can respect. It's something I do respect. Our senses of virtue, however, are often contrary. And I try to seek common ground because that's something I've learned from you, and honestly, I'm not very good at this. I've learned a lot from you. You've inspired me in that way, and I never mean in any way to hurt any of us. Frankly, I'm just concerned for our survival, and that worry translates into a fear, and that fear turns into maybe not so straight thinking, but our quarrels can't be among ourselves.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think this is a healthy dialogue. I think it's good that we air any and I kind of puff up a little bit. Air any grievances that we have. I think this is a good a team building exercise. And you know, I very much appreciate when you speak your heart and your mind like this. Both Nikki and Fizzy here. I think that brings us closer together and forms a stronger bond that is harder to break in the end.
Are we good?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We were never bad. Come on, get your mind out of the mud. All right, put your sorries in a sack, okay? Come on. Everything's fine. We're just a
You got
we're
a
just
really
a
big
couple of
sack
friends.
for all the sorry. I'm just gonna like gesture over to the
Yeah,
tent
we
and
had
like start
endless
walking.
sack. Oh, sit back down. I was turning a phrase there, Tizzy. Yeah.
Sorry,
I,
I'm a
I
little far gone. I had a whole 2 sips.
that's a lot for you, buddy.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's a after what we've been through, I think it's anytime you can find some a little bit of vacation from the moment, I think you should take it. A respite, if you will.
You know, I only do it to shut up the brain.
Why? I just say whatever comes into mind.
You don't want to hear what mine has to say.
I've never heard a gnome to be so complicated.
Most,
Honestly unnerving. I don't know how to handle what I'm hearing.
I'm. The interesting thing here is most gnomes are more like Rush. Maybe not as much like Rush, but more like Rush, where we deal with our problems with each other. We'll talk it out, we'll work it out, and that's why we're so clever and quick with all the things that we work on, because we share ideas, we experiment that way. I've always struggled in that regard.
Why?
Would it be wrong of me to blame it on my family?
Considering I want to kill my father, no. He was the orc, and I look at Danny, if you didn't catch that.
Yeah, I think that's been gathered at this point.
Just making sure.
I guess I'll... Being a wine garden druid, it means something, I guess. I don't know what it means. I don't know how far it really goes. They've always been so cryptic about it. But my father seems to imply that it's important, and frankly, everyone around him seems to deem it otherwise. And there's this innate feeling I'm supposed to be making him proud. And that's why he shipped me off. I'm just... I don't know. I'm supposed to know these things, you know. I'm a druid. I know how the world works, and being stranded on a mountaintop, well, several mountaintops, but mountaintops nonetheless. I know what rocks look like. I know where under the rocks I can find certain mosses. I can't help people in their lives much. I might be able to help a plant grow. And so now I'm here in this opportunity to actually do something, to actually prove my mettle, and I've got my tail proverbially stuck between my legs. Because I might not do it.
But you have been doing it.
But who's gonna tell the rest of the world that, huh? Who's gonna get that back to my old
Who cares
man,
about the rest of the world?
Just leave, buddy. I'll tell everyone everything that we have done so far, and what we feel. I feel we are destined to do from here on out as well. People will know the tale of the helping hand. They will sing and regale of all of the triumphs that we will have of conquering the veil and helping innocent people come back from below, rising up to above. They will sing our songs for generations to come. They will know the name of Physic. They will know him as the great. What will they know him as? The great explorer, the great herbalist. What do you want to be known as, Fizzy? What's you have like a moniker? You come on, everybody has a moniker that they have in mind for something that sounds snappy.
Orc snack.
Orc snack. I don't think that quite gets across.
Well, see, that's the thing, because I have all this going on, but then underneath it, I'm supposed to be a druid, and what I understand, concretely, is that none of what I think actually matters, and that's the part that's really tearing me up here. Is I don't care, but I do.
Well, it sounds like I'm going to have to bring a little bit of self-value out of you two. My mission as I sit here with you two fine gentlemen is becoming even more clear at this point. My main one is to save the princess. My other main goal is to help bring back my family circus to travel around bringing joy to everyone. And my third goal at this point is to help you two realize just what it is you bring, not only to this group, but to the world in general. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're an ambitious fellow.
What good is anything without ambition?
Why don't we get back there if they let us back into the city, which they might not. They might just get that princess up there and leave us to die on the mountainside. But why don't you two pool your resources together and have Physic join your little circus friends?
That would be fantastic. We would love to have you.
Yeah, that'd be great, Nudnik. Thanks for the
You
insight.
you can grow plants on street corners and throw children at him, and you can do that spell that made my skin all bark like, and the bearded lady probably would love you because you could, trim her.
Physic is just up and headed to the tent at this point, just like.
Oh, come back, little boy. Come back.
Well, think about it. Think about it.
Physics gone.
Nikki. Every once in a while, you really do come through with the gem. If you don't see that as self-value, I don't know what possibly could.
Well, it's so valuable, he walked away. Guess he went to sleep.
He just couldn't handle the self-value brimming inside of him. It's a very intense feeling once you first realize it, I do have to admit. So he'll just need to process that for a little bit. It'll be fine.
I'm gonna watch first. Are you gonna go to sleep in your armor And should I wake you later, or...
Yeah, I think I've learned a pretty valuable lesson. As far as sleeping in my skivvies, it's probably not the best idea. I'm sure I'll become accustomed to a little more as I do it. It leaves a pretty bad crick in the neck, being elevated from the shoulder and the head being down. I try my best to elevate it as best as I can, but you can only do so much here in the wilderness, such as this forest here.
Go to sleep, Daniel. I'll wake you when it's time for
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you. I'll see you in a few hours.
Maybe I'll just try working on my bowmanship. I've been failing with it lately. It keeps snapping off. It pisses me off. I did it with the boar. It's just like broke again with the wolves. I killed that one.
Well, just practice your craft. It's what you got to do.
I'm gonna toss you my chain and say, if you want to go on the tree, tie yourself off.
No, I think being on the ground will be nice. If you're watching, I trust you to wake us if there's any problems. Plus, I want to be able to be on the ground ready to defend my friends here.
Good. Good night.
Yes, and a fair night eve to you as well, Nikki. It was great talking to you. Thanks for opening up tonight. I appreciate that. I think it's going to go a long way here.
Well met. I'm Gorbad, the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, as well as the author of thedmsblog.com, where you can find lots of fun and interesting articles for both Dungeon Masters and players alike. If you'd like to keep up with the show, follow us on Twitter at How We Roll. Check out our website, www.howweroll.com, and for our past campaigns and for some fun bonus content, follow us on YouTube at, you've guessed it, How We Roll. We hope to see you all again real soon. Cheers, guys.
Oh. Hello. Must have missed you there. I'm Satch. Here on How We Roll, I play Physic, the not-so-happy little gnome druid. He's so angry, Anyways, if you'd like to follow me elsewhere, I'm Satchmo just about everywhere. So if you want to follow me on Twitch or Twitter, Satchmo's the key to that. Well, it looks like we're about out of time here today, so from all of us here at the studio, Cuthbert bless, and happy painting.
Hey guys, Shaggit here, and I played Nudnik the Mod, half-orc ranger for How We Roll. You can follow me on Twitter at eneb_convos, where I occasionally tweet things.
And that's how air works. What a good story. And I also hope you enjoyed today's story on How We Roll. I'm Jane, and I played Emilia Page, the human rogue. If you want to follow me on social media, I do have a Twitter, and it is Jane on Twitch with a 0, not an O. That's all I have to say, so peace, suckers, bye!
What's up, you guys? I am the Snuggler, and of course, I play on How We Roll Daniel Norbig Tid V, the ex-circus man turned paladin trying to bring happiness and wellness back to the Calman folk. If you want to follow me on Twitter, not quite sure why you would, but if you did, you can find me at MattySweetTweet. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Until next time.
Hey guys, I am the Dragon Spooker, and for you and How We Roll this time, I'm playing Rush Brinkery, the Nomian engineering sorcerer. If you don't get enough with me on the show, then you can follow me on Twitter at Dragon Spooker. You can also check out my channel, which I should be streaming more in here in the future with my new rig this year, at twitch.tv/thedragonspooker. I'll see you next episode.